friends, Robin here with Mattman and Robin. Welcome to the channel. Today is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to be talking about some paper crafting things that I have done for fillers for Operation Christmas Child. So if you found this channel because of crafting, welcome. I want to let you know that I focus my channel on encouraging, inspiring, and including you in packing boxes for Operation Christmas Child year-round. These items are going to be fairly easy crafts, and they are for fillers for the distribution center for Operation Christmas Child. So these items will be sent in to the distribution center, and they can be added to boxes that come in without some necessities, or maybe they come in a little bit empty. So I will give these to the inspectors so that they can add them to these boxes to bring necessities and joy to these children. So these are the two things we're going to be doing today. This is just a basic paper roll. I actually found this one from Denise on D. Rogers, so thank you. This is from her channel, but I'm going to include it because I've been making them and I wanted to show you how I make them. And then the second thing, which is a little bit more advanced, but if you are here for paper crafting, this is going to be really easy for you. And if you are a beginner crafter, this is a really good place to start, or a really good thing that you can do with your family for Operation Christmas Child. And that is making these little booklets. So they're really cute. It's just crafting paper, and it is made out of one 12 by 12 crafting page and a sticker. I also have included several pages on the inside of white copy paper. So just the paper that you run through your family printer that you can get in bulk at Walmart. And as you can see, there is a little folder here where they can put little goodies in. So the options on this are endless. So with as many different stickers as you can find, or ways to decorate the front, and all different kinds of crafting paper out there. Some of them are so fun and cute, they don't even need stickers. So here are two different options that are like pretty girly. And here are some options that are pretty boyish. Different kinds of things. Again, same folder on the inside and on the back page, and blank copy paper for drawing and doodling and journaling, and these will go in as filler. So let's get started. I do want to say that because I am not typically a crafter for YouTube, I do craft on my own, but not always for YouTube. I don't have the amazing setup that so many of the crafters do. So we're going to do our best, and hang in there with me as this is my very first crafting video, and the angle is not going to be as beautiful as, say, Nikki's, if you're familiar with her amazing crafting videos. So let's get started. I'm gonna angle the camera down so you can see my workspace, which is just my dining room, kitchen, living room, table, whatever. It's all one big great room. So here we go. I'm gonna angle you down, and we will do our best. Okay, so there is the space we are working with. I hope this works. Okay, so this is the first thing I wanted to start with. Ooh, there is a glare there. We'll put it over here. And what this is just a toilet paper tube with Christmas wrapping paper and lined copy paper. So the supplies you will need is some saved toilet paper rolls, a stack of lined school notebook paper, a roll of wrapping paper if you want. This is my preferred method, but I believe that regular copy weight decorative paper will work too. So if you have some scrappy leftovers, or maybe a paper weight that you are not, that you don't like working with in your scrapbooking pages, so a lightweight paper crafting paper would work as well, and some scissors. So the very first thing you're going to do is take the wrapping paper, and this one has grids on it, but it's very light, and I don't think that the camera is going to pick up on it. And you are going to cut 6.5 by 6.5 inch squares. So what I do is I count 6 squares here, and then I cut right in between it, and I go all the way down the paper and make one long strip. And then once I have the one long strip, I count out 6 squares and cut in between on the next one so that we have that 1/2 inch. And then I count out another 6 squares and cut on the line. And I repeat that pattern, making as many squares out of one sheet as I can. This particular paper makes 3 6.5 by 6.5 inch squares. So this is what that will look like with that specific paper. So the next thing I'm going to do is get my toilet paper roll here. Now at this point you have a few options. You can tape these down if it's easier for you, especially when you're getting started. I like to leave it free from tape, because once the child gets this, if they deconstruct it from their toilet paper roll, this is a lot of fun sparkly cutouts that they could use. So depending on your pattern, you might use a specific Mickey Mouse pattern for a Mickey Mouse box, or your paper might it might be something special to them that they want to cut out and utilize in other crafting ways. So I am not going to use tape. I'm just going to take the paper roll and put it at the end here. Actually, I'll start over here so you can see better. Put it on the end. I'm just gonna roll it up as evenly as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I set it up, and I'm going to very carefully, so as to try not to tear the paper, start tucking the paper in. And I like to go all one direction because it kind of helps. And I just start little. I don't try to tuck it all in at once, because that will definitely make the paper tear. And then I just kind of keep tucking it in as I go around and around and around. And the more that I tuck, the flatter it gets and the better it gets without tearing the paper. So we'll do that one more time here. Just, a general tucking, kind of helping the paper feel its new shape without tearing as best as we can. Sometimes we have to help it a little bit. But again, we don't want it to tear. And if it does, no big deal, we just keep going. But that way, this page is completely intact for this child to get to play with once they receive it. There you go, there's your toilet paper roll. Then I grab my lined toilet paper here, oh my goodness, lined notebook paper, and I just grab a stack. It's about, I would say, it feels like about 10 pages. This is the stack I like to use. I'm gonna roll it up and see if it fits, and then I will actually count it for you. Yes, this is going to fit nicely inside of our tube here. So let me count how many pages this is, just so we know. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's anywhere from 10 to 15 pages, works great. Then you just roll it up again like I just did previously. And make it even on both sides. And then you just slip it through the wrapping paper. It kind of gets caught up a little bit, but if you're gentle with it, it will come right through. And then when you let go of the paper, it's going to expand and fill up the entire size of this toilet paper roll. Ready? There we go. I just even it out a little bit. And there we go. And I do this every time I buy a new stack of toilet paper. I have, you know, 12 or 13 toilet paper rolls I have collected at that time. I will just sit down in front of the TV and make, you know, as many of those as I can. It typically uses one stack of notebook paper from the grocery store, like this, per set of toilet paper tubes that I have used in a pack. So they usually correlate pretty nicely. Now, if you'll notice, this is wide roll. That's a completely your choice. I like to use wide roll because this is going to children aged 2 to 14. So they are mostly elementary and middle school aged kiddos still working on their handwriting. So I send the wide roll. And that's our first paper craft, inspired by Denise from D. Rogers. Again, thanks. If you want to see her channel, I have linked it below for you. So that's a good fun one that the family can do, family of all ages. Here is our next craft we're going to work on. Just a reminder of what we're doing is this really fun booklet. It uses one 12 by 12 scrapbook piece of paper and 7 pages of copy paper to make this little folder booklet coloring journal scrap paper. So here are the items I am going to be using. Is some very thin double-sided tape. You could also use liquid school glue. Elmer's glue would work for this. I'm just lazy and I like to use the tape. The next thing we're going to need is a bone folder. You can use a pin for this if you want. It's just something that needs to have a solid edge that you can utilize to help press down on your folding to really crease the paper. I am also, this is optional, but I'm going to be using these really adorable stickers. These were actually contributed by Joan, so thank you, Joan. There are 48 pieces of colorful stickers in here. I will link these below. They are from Amazon. I also need some copy paper, computer paper. You can buy this in bulk at any grocery store or Walmart or Superstore, Target. They might even have some at Dollar Tree. I haven't seen it there, but it's a very big possibility. So you'll need some blank copy paper. Now here's where we get into the specialty items. You will need a special stapler. You don't need this special stapler, but you need a special stapler. This one is special because the inside of it, let's see if I can see how the teeth are facing that direction. It pops out and it makes them face the opposite direction. And this makes it so that I can staple them like a booklet. So the other types of staplers that work for this are those really long, amazing bookmaking staplers. I just got this at Daiso for $1.50, so you don't have to spend a lot of money. I will see if I can find one of these specific ones linked below, and if not, I will find some sort of stapler that works and link it below so you can do these projects. Again, I just spent $1.50, so don't invest too much in this because you can do it without all the fancy things. Here is another item. I recommend getting this if you are any type of crafter or even any type of Operation Christmas Child Packer. The amount of times that I use this is amazing. I use it at least once a week on boxes all the time for printing instructions or images or booklets or making cards to put in their boxes. I use this all the time. It is just a Fiskars 12-inch trimmer. And then the last thing you're going to need is some scrapbook paper. So here are some ways you can buy this. This is the kind that you can get at Hobby Lobby. They might have gone up in price recently, but when I bought this, these were originally $19.99. And it is by the Paper Studio. They go on sale frequently for half off, so you can get this stack here for $10. and it comes with 60 sheets. So for $10, you could make 60 of these really fun notebooks. But I got this on clearance for $5, so just be on the lookout. Another good place to get scrapbooking paper is at Michael's. And these are both cardstock thickness. So these are called hot buy. So if you wait, Michael's will put these on sale frequently, and you can get them for $5 each. I think you might have to buy a couple of them to get them at that price, but be on the lookout for these. And the last place I'm going to tell you is actually Walmart. If you are not a crafter, a paper crafter, meaning that you don't make cards or you don't do scrapbooking, then you might just want to go to Walmart and get their $5 paper pads. Now, the weight of this is going to be a regular copy paper weight, and that's fine. In fact, I prefer to use regular copy weight paper on this specific project, but I have so much scrapbooking cardstock that that's just what I'm going to be using for most of mine. So let's get started, and I'm going to show you how I make these. First, I'm going to get my handy dandy trimmer out over here, and then, trying really hard not to bump the table, I'm going to get, I pre-selected some paper and a sticker. I'm going to make a boy page with this really fun plaid and this really cute bear sticker. So I'm gonna put the bear over here. And then this is my template. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. So the first thing that we wanna do is cut the paper just a little bit. We're gonna cut it to 11¼ inches. So you wanna be careful when you're doing this. If you have a paper that is directional, like this paper here, you see how the ornaments are going in a specific direction. You wanna make sure to keep it up and down when you do the cutting. So the best thing that I can tell you is that you want to figure out where you want to be the front of your booklet. And I want the front of my booklet to be this side. And I want it to face up and down. So the best recommendation I can have is to flip your paper upside down and cut from over here. It's not super important if you have a paper like this, which doesn't have a direction. This could be up or this could be up. Any of it is up. But there is a little bit of decoration in the corner, and I want to make sure that the front has this decoration on it. So like I said, I'm gonna flip it upside down so that my front is over here and I'm not cutting it. And we're just going to cut off 3/4 inch. Now this amazing paper cutter has all of these measurements on it, which, oh, you couldn't see that. It has measurements on it over here, which makes it easier to cut the paper at the right length. So we're going to cut off 3/4 inch. Now, if you don't have a fancy paper cutter like that, it's okay. Scissors will work too. Just use a ruler, which I have right here. And see, it's a 12-inch ruler. And you would just mark on here 11¼ inches and just make a couple marks all the way up the paper and then cut along that mark with your scissors. You do not have to have this fancy trimmer. So here we go. I'm going to cut, and it makes it so easy. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we want to fold it in half, but I'm going to do something that makes that easier. Like I said, if you don't have a paper trimmer, all you have to do is fold it in half and crease it. But I'm going to make a creasing mark in it. And this one is going to be at 5 5/8 inches. So just past 5½ inches wide. I'm going to use the channel of my paper cutter here, this channel where the blade goes, and I'm going to mark with this bone folder all the way up. Now what that does is creates a crease for me. Can you see that? It's creased the paper so that I will know when I'm folding it, it will just kind of fold itself a little bit easier. Now the next thing we're going to do that is going to be the folded in half booklet. But now we want to make the folder flap. So I'm going to rotate the paper. This is how it was, 90 degrees, so that our crease is going along this way. I know the word, it's just blanking right now. And now I'm going to measure at 3 3/8, so just under 3 1/2. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 3 3/8 inches. And we're going to make a crease again. So, if you can tell, and that's all we will need the paper trimmer for. We are done with this. So, like I said, you can use scissors and just a ruler and folding if you want to. It's very easy and everyone in the family can do it. But here are the folding lines. If you can tell where my bone folder, which is what this is called, creased the paper. I'm gonna go ahead and fold it so you can see what it will look like. I'm gonna fold the folder ends up, just kind of line it up on the edges there. And because I've creased it, it's folding so very easily. Oh, I'm sorry about shaking the table. Then I'm going to do the fold in half. Again, lining up our paper. Right there, lining up that corner and going along the crease. This is where you can use your bone folder again, or just your pin. If you're using a pin, use the non-pointy edge. You don't want to accidentally mark on your paper. And you just crease it. And it helps that crease be really crisp. So that's how you use the pin, and this is how you would use the bone folder, the same way. So this is what it looks like, and can you tell I have that decorative edge in the corner where I want it. So at this point, we have made our little folder. It's really cute. You've done such a great job, but now we need to glue down the edges of these flaps so that nothing slides out of the folder once we have made it. That's where I'm going to use the double-sided tape. You could, if you wanted to, utilize glue here. The reason I don't is one of two reasons. Here is a glue stick, and if you can see how much width that takes up, there will not be very much space to utilize for the pocket if I use this very thick glue stick. Now, if I use a wet glue, it's going to take drying time, and I am not going to be able to knock these out real quick, one after one. So it's up to you. You don't have to have this fancy double-sided thin tape, but I do. Glue stick or wet glue will work as well. Here we go. So I'm just going to put this where you can see. Pull out this double-sided tape to about the right measurement and just tear off a little piece. Then I will open the flap here and put it on the inside as close to the end of this paper as I can get. And I'm gonna push that down. It's hard to see because it's white on white, but it's on there. And I'm gonna varnish it, I forget the word, with my bone folder, again, by just kind of rubbing that tape down. You can use a pin as well. Now I will peel back the other side of this tape, and it is ready to be closed. I'm gonna hold from the center and push out. Okay, now we're going to do that on this side as well. Take a little piece of tape, measure the length I want, rip it off, and then add it to the inside. Now you can do it when both flaps are open. I just didn't this time, no big deal, either way works. You can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just putting this tape here as close to the top as I can get it and pushing down. I'm gonna use my bone folder again to get it really good, nice and adhered. I'm gonna rip off the backing of the tape And then again, I'm gonna set it in the center and push out. Okay, now we have our folder, and right now it's just one big pocket, but we are about to remedy that. And with these, I found what my stapler can staple through is 8 pages. So we'll pick 7 of these white copy pages, and then the cover will be the 8th page. That's why I like to utilize the copy paper weight, the kind you can get at Walmart on this project. Now, cardstock does work, and I can get my stapler to go through it, but I like to use the lighter weight 12 by 12 paper. Let's count 7 pages here. That's actually 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And these do not need as much accuracy as the folder. So I'm just gonna kind of pinch them together and crease them. I will use the bone folder just to give it a really good crease. And I'm gonna set it inside the folder like it's going to be a book. Now, at this point, if you do not have a fancy stapler, you could utilize yarn or a string or a really nice elastic and just tie it closed, putting the elastic and ribbon here, and then tying it together here. It's an option. I don't like to do that as much. I do like the luxury of the stapler, but like I said, if you don't want to buy the fancy supplies, that's how you could do it. So now that I have my paper in the little booklet, I'm going to open it back up, and I'm going to get my stapler, and I'm going to turn it so that the teeth are going the same way as the spine of the booklet. I'm gonna put this in here as far as it will go and line it up with that spine. And there is my first staple. Then I will flip it around. And again, I'm going to line it up with that spine. Make sure it's in alignment and staple there. Now my stapler's giving me a fuss. It's giving me a fuss right now. Let me try it again. It knows it's on camera. It's being camera shy. Okay, let's try again. We're going back to the top. This is the piece without the folder on it. So I'm gonna staple there first. I'm going in, going with alignment. I think I'm trying to be too gentle because I don't want to shake the camera. So here comes a camera shake, ready? There we go, much better. Now we turn it back around. This is the side with the folder, and we're gonna go in all the way as far as it will go and give that a good staple. And as you can tell, it has stapled right here. See, right there, and it has gathered the folder at the top. Then the last staple that we will do is we want to staple the bottom of the folder to the pages as well. One more camera shake. Boom. There we have it. And here you have just made a really fun folder. And as you can tell, even though I used the really thin tape and put it all the way to the edge, this is how much that tape takes up. So if I were to use a glue stick, I probably would only get a pocket to like here. That's why I don't use a glue stick or wet glue, but it's totally up to you. So let's go ahead and add our bear. Here he is. Isn't he adorable? We're gonna add him right there. So I'm gonna turn it around so I can see it and make it perfect, because it is ultimately a gift for a child, so I want it to be really cute. And here we go. There it is. You have completed making this adorable folder booklet. Now the last thing I want to show you is another way that you can decorate these folders. If you do purchase one of these from Michael's, Not the ones from Hobby Lobby and not the ones from Walmart, but the ones from Michaels will come with special pages. Let me see if I can find one for you. See, this is just a really fun, big blank design, but this one has 4 different images on it. Aren't they pretty? So what you can do is cut these images out and paste them on the front of this for decoration. Let me show you an example that I have kind of set up already. Here is a folder that I made with that paper I showed you earlier that's directional, so you make sure that it is going up and down. And from this paper pad, which is what these are called paper pads, I used the cutouts, that page I just showed you, and there are 6. So you can leave some of them in here just for the kiddo to play with, or you can take them out, and there are different options here for those cutouts to utilize. And I want to use this one. I think it's really cute. It has a little Christmas tree with a llama on it. And I just want to place this on the center of the booklet. I will use some different double-sided tape that I have. It's a little bit thicker, goes a little bit further in my opinion. And I will just put some double-sided tape on it in random places. Probably 3 little pieces will be enough to hold this 1 piece of cardstock. So if you buy the ones from Michaels, it will come with these that you can use as decorations, and you don't have to buy additional stickers. And they will all be coordinating because they come in 1 single paper pad. So that's really my recommendation is if you don't already have an abundance of stickers for decorating, to get the paper pads at Michaels, and you will have these embellishments that you can utilize and decorate. But the ones at Walmart are thinner and a little bit easier to staple through. So those are my advices. These are the 2 that we sort of made today. Thank you so much for following along on my very first crafty video. Let me know if you enjoyed this and if you want to see more. And if you were new because of these crafting things, welcome. If you want to know more about Operation Christmas Child, please feel free to ask me anything or watch any of my other videos. I hope you have a wonderful day, and in case no one has told you, I love you lots. Bye!